Alright, so I thought I would make a quick video about relationships here in China. Tips and tricks to finding a relationship, whether you're new to China, been here a while and just haven't gotten on it. You know, maybe you didn't want to and now you do. So, for relationships, there are two key factors I find that play into finding relationships here. And key factor number one, obviously, is going to be language. Your language speaking ability is going to play a huge factor. Now, if you cannot speak Chinese, you still can find relationships pretty easily. It's not going to be a hard thing. But just if you can speak Chinese, you'll have unlimited opportunities when it comes to meeting people. Now, factor number two is going to be the location. Depending on the different locations, you're gonna meet different quality type of people with different goals and morals in life, you know? So location can also play a big factor into the type of relationships you get and the type of people you meet. Me being in Guangzhou Tier 1 city, there's a whole range of culture to be found, and you know, people have a lot of different opinions, ideas, and feelings, morals. You get the point, right? People are all different. So I thought I would sit down in a Starbucks because it's a pretty good place to, you know, get a snack, get a drink, bring a date, meet someone, and it's relaxing, AC, music's bumping, but that's okay. Now, I will start by talking about my experience as a straight male. The situation may be similar to straight females, but I can't talk on that because I am not one. I'm also talking about the aspect of getting a relationship with a Chinese person, not another foreigner. I mean, if you want to meet another foreigner, there's people from all over the world here. You can always meet them at popular foreigner hangouts such as the foreigner bars, foreigner clubs. If you live in a really big garden, you might be able to meet someone there, or even at your work. And also note that there's an LGBTQ community over here, and I've met a handful of people who identify as so, but once again, I can only speak on my experience. I'm not in that scene, and I don't know where the bars and stuff and hangouts for them would be. Finally, I'm talking about my experience here in Guangzhou, China, a Tier 1 city. It could vary from Tier 1 city to Tier 1 cities such as Shanghai, Beijing, Shenzhen, and definitely it's going to vary a lot more once you go outside of the Tier 1 cities, the smaller cities. So let's talk about the two types of relationships today: sexual encounters and wife material. Okay, so the spicy stuff, the sexual encounters. There's two categories I put you in. Number one category is if you speak Chinese, and number two, if you don't speak Chinese. So if you speak Chinese, you probably have, I mean, it's a Chinese country, right? It's China. You have the run-of-the-mill, you can conversate with anyone. So you can pretty much go to any clubs, or you can go to cool bars, you know, bars like Perry's, have a great time, meet people there. That's where people are looking for, you know, these type of encounters. From my experience, I don't speak great Chinese, but from my friends that do, and they've gone to these places, they've had some great times. Now, if you don't speak Chinese, I mean, there's a lot more Western clubs. I don't remember any of the names of them, but there are Western clubs that people go to, and it's a lot more foreigners. You'll know when you walk into the club. If it's a lot of foreigners and some Chinese or only Chinese, you'll know right away what the style of the club is. And also Western bars, like in Zhujiang Newtown, there's a main street where you got Go, Morgan's, Bandit, like a whole bunch of Western bars. On Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or even weekdays, you're gonna find a handful of Western people there that you can meet. And then also, I mean, for the spicy stuff, there are some house parties that go along here. I mean, back home in Canada, house parties are a huge thing, and yes, they are a thing here as well. So those are places where you're looking for those spicy encounters, you can find some. Party Pier also is a big one. It's a toss-up though, because there tends to be a lot of working ladies at Party Pier late at night. So, I mean, I don't have too much familiar. I don't go to Party Pier often, but it is something. And finally, for spicy sexual encounters, the apps, Tinder does work here. Tinder is notorious for people hooking up. And then there's also the last one, Telegram. However, if you go on Telegram and you do the people near you, then there's also a lot of working girls there. So I mean, we're not really going to be touching that topic. So if you're looking for legitimate encounters, sexual encounters, then some of those things, Tinder is probably your best bet, but also those hangout locations. Okay, wife material. So the previous one, the sexual encounters, I mentioned the places like bars and clubs and stuff like that, just because that's places where you're going to find girls that are looking for a good time, partying, excitement. You know, what I used to do when I was younger, my college years, my teenage years, that type of stuff. You could still find a wife or wife material in the club, at a bar, any of those other places. You just really need to gauge the person you're meeting or talking to. Because personally, when I wanted to find a wife, I didn't want to find someone that's going to be drinking 3, 4, 5 times a day a week, or even every weekend, right? I wanted to find someone that would, want to have a family, want to have kids, and is not totally always about going out. But if you don't want to have kids, or even if you do, but you want to still have that party life and live that lifestyle, that is your lifestyle, then maybe those places could be a great place for you to find a wife. But I'm just saying, there's different mindsets. People have different goals and objectives in life, and that just wasn't mine. So now, 2 categories looking for a wife here. If you speak Chinese, coffee stops, just like Starbucks, Luckin Coffee, there's a bunch of them here. A lot of people come here just to get out of the heat, to have a drink, to have a snack, on lunch break from work. I mean, this is a good place. You could run into someone, meet them, get their WeChat, start chatting up with them, and get to know them. Next place, malls. Popular malls like T-Mall and Grandview Mall. There's a lot of very attractive people there. You can walk around on the weekends or after work or whatever, possibly find someone, chat it up with there. People just going out on their daily thing, shopping. Like back home, people always joke, you're gonna meet someone at the grocery store. From my experience, I've never met anyone at the grocery store. It's all moms shopping at the grocery store. But, the malls here, girls shopping for makeup and dresses, great place to meet a pretty girl. Or even the guys, there's lots of guys shopping. But yeah, if you're not even shopping or meet anyone, you can always buy something yourself and go sightseeing. But I think is one better than that. I was there filming the other day, a women's wholesale clothing market. Now there was a lot of groups of friends, beautiful girls, shopping around. And not just the girls shopping around, the girls that run the booths, the saleswomen, the workers there, the shop owners. There's a lot of really pretty girls there as well. So if you're there and you speak Chinese, you can, get some WeChats, you can chat them up. That would be a great place to find someone pretty, right? So unfortunately I'm already married, so I'm there, I'm just sightseeing, having a good look. But yeah, that is probably the best place I found so far if you're looking for someone. Now my wife did mention that a lot of Chinese girls will be shy and they might not want to give you the WeChat, but keep going on, just keep talking. From my experience, a lot of them are very friendly and they're excited to get new friends and meet. And who knows, when you make friends, who knows where it goes down the road. Now, another place, if you don't speak Chinese, let's get to if you don't speak Chinese. You can go to the more affluent parts of town, Zhujiang Newtown, Lieda, stuff like that. Ever since 2015 when I arrived, there was not a lot of people that spoke English, but nowadays in 2024, those kids have grown up that were learning English at training centers and schools, and there's a lot more, especially in the richer parts of town. Those people grow up with a good education, you'll luckily run into someone there. And hey, if you run into someone there, maybe you're gonna marry rich, right? That's a dream of a lot of people. But it's not about the money, it's about the personality and the person you meet. Next, in not affluent places, you can go to work. There's a lot of foreigners, especially teachers, that end up marrying a Chinese worker, a Chinese co-worker. And it's not a conflict of interest because they're not your boss, but a lot of times they'll be working, you get to know your co-worker, you go out for lunch or dinner a bunch of times with them, and then you fall for them, right? And it's just easier because a lot of them speak English, and a lot of people don't go around looking for others. They're just, it's just a comfortable situation. So work is actually, I'd say, a majority, not a majority, I don't know, percentage, I'm making percentages up out of my head, but I'd say 20% of foreign teachers here end up dating one of their coworkers, if not more than that, or maybe a little less, but hey, as I said, it's actually a common thing. Friends of friends, right? If you don't speak Chinese, friends of friends, so your coworkers' friends, maybe you meet friends out at the club, they're friends. You can always meet friends of friends and then find someone that way. I've met a bunch of people, friends of friends that speak English. No, I didn't date them, but I possibly could have. Good relationships and just meeting more people and networking. Friends of friends is also another way to meet people. Now, like I said earlier, you can also go to the clubs and bars, but if you are looking for someone that's more wife material, just observe, spend a longer time before actually getting that relationship with people. It's like I'm giving you advice when you're a teenager, but most people that come to Guangzhou, you're all adults, you all have an education, you've been around the block, so I don't think I need to tell you that unless you're a little bit of an introvert and a shut-in and this is your first time getting in the dating scene. And finally, we're going to talk about the apps. So the apps are actually pretty good here. Back home they have like Bumble and Plenty of Fish. Back when I was using apps to date, it was more just for the hookup, so I was using Tinder. But the apps here are a little different than that. Tauntaun is kind of like Bumble or Plenty of Fish. It's more for meeting relationships and friends. So Tauntaun is probably the #1 one I would suggest. Great place to meet people and go on dates. If you don't want to leave your home, you just want to swipe left and right. It's structured just like Tinder, so really easy to use, swipe left and right, but also has a ton of features like check out TomTom when you get here. As soon as, even before you arrive, download it, have a look. And then other than that, you have WeChat near you. You can always use WeChat, and the good thing about WeChat near you, once you add people on WeChat, if you don't speak Chinese, even though this is for you not, you can always translate through Baidu Translate or write on the WeChat app directly. You can write English, they can hit translate, they write Chinese, you hit translate back and forth. I did date a girl once where she didn't know almost no English, and we would translate through WeChat. However, I did find it kind of dull, just because, I mean, you want to have a verbal conversation, right? You don't want to be mute, you don't want to be silent. So that's, for me, that wasn't the greatest situation. It didn't last long, just about a month or two. But anyways, next you also have WeChat near you, like I said, Red, Soul, and Momo. Now these are all more Chinese actual dating apps. I'm not 100% sure if foreigners can use them. I haven't downloaded them and double checked. I've heard of Chinese friends using them, but you can't catfish people on here. You have to actually upload your information, so your passport, or for Chinese, the Chinese ID card, upload correct photos, and it verifies everything and goes through there. So anyways, that's just a little bit of information here if you're looking for sexual encounters or a wife material, the whole type of dating scene. I mean, foreigners aren't considered as much rock stars back in the day. We're more on an equal playing level, but I mean, people are always interested in learning about you and your life. So if you're a foreigner and you're looking for any type of relationship coming to China, I hope this video was a little bit helpful to you. But once again, you need to go out, you need to explore China for your own self, and you need to, figure things out yourself. These are just some tips and tricks from my experience here in China, and just some ideas that I'm giving you. So anyways, guys, till next time, take it easy.